What's up guys, it's Mike Thurston here, and today's video is all about my trip to Rio de Janeiro. I literally just got back yesterday and put this little video together of, all the things I was eating, what I was training, along with what I was doing in my spare time, and, showing you some scenes of Rio. And oh my God, what a place Rio is.
Yawning, barring up. Check the points, ain't scarring up. Said you're gonna ride, but you're stalling. They ain't about money, why we warring? Fuck the talking, and let it ring. Just make a ring, just let it ring. Why you starting, bro? But you're not gonna do a thing. She can't, she made my WhatsApp bling. Just let it ring.
So this trip was purely just for pleasure. There was no business involved. I was doing a bit of work, but it was mainly just to have some time out from my work schedule and escape the miserable conditions of England at this time of the year. My friend, well, my best friend, should I say, Brad Tarrant, he invited me out there. He said, hey, Mike, why don't you come to Rio? I'm going to be there in February. Why don't you come for Carnival? It's one hell of a place. He's got a girlfriend out there. There's a couple of other my friends going out there as well. I thought to myself, why the hell not? So I went ahead and booked my flight.
12 hours later, he's finally made it. Touchdown to Rio de Janeiro. He's back after a long absence.
Yes! Whenever I go on holiday, especially if it's going to be in the sun and I'm going to be topless, I want to look my best. I'm sure everyone else does as well. So I'll put myself through some kind of cut or cutting phase to reduce body fat beforehand. Problem was, like 10 days before this trip, I was holding more body fat than I wanted to, so I put myself through some pretty rigorous, grim cut. I was going to make a video on it, but it was just rushed, wasn't good enough, and I forgot to take the before photos, so the whole thing was pretty pointless. But anyway, I'll do another cutting video, and the videos come in the future. On the Monday, the day of traveling, I was going to be in a plane for 11 hours, and I needed to make sure I had some food with me because plain food just wasn't going to cut it. I did eat the plain food, I just didn't have the bread or the dessert. I had about 400 grams of turkey and broccoli to keep me going through those 11 hours. I had a little bit of a sushi snack at the airport beforehand, and that pretty much did me for the day. I got there pretty late, so I just went to bed. And on the first day in Rio, I went exploring. Now, I managed to keep my diet pretty tidy, but obviously I'd had the Monday off. By Tuesday, I was pretty much itching to train because I'd built all these good habits beforehand where I was dieting, I was training often twice per day doing the cardio and the weights, and you still want to keep that flow going, especially when you're on holiday. The moment you lose those good routines, that's when everything starts to, go downhill in terms of your condition. And obviously I wanted to maintain my condition as best as I could. So the first thing I do whenever I go to a new country is I look for the nearest gym, or even if I'm booking a destination or accommodation in a foreign country, I'll pick somewhere which is close to a gym or has gym facilities, because for me, that's very important. Wherever I go, I always want to train.
Oh, you big lobster. What gym we go to?
We found, don't we, pal? It's the Brazilian.
We need to find a gym. We need to find a gym.
It's called Círculo Militar. There is a gym there.
Where? What's it called?
Círculo Militar.
So with the help of Brad's girlfriend, who was a local, she managed to find a gym which was literally a 10-minute walk away. So we headed off there on the Tuesday night. I think it must have been about 9 o'clock. And this is one of the things I love about traveling and going to different places. It's almost like an adventure. You're on a mission to find a gym. You have no idea where you're going. You have no idea what the gym's like. But, you're exploring, you're stepping outside your comfort zone.
Circulo military de prive la booblabab. We are here. We are here.
And it's sometimes nice to try out new gyms, Sometimes you get sick of training in the same place over and over again. And even though the gym might not be as good as your home gym, it does the job. And, sometimes it's almost like wearing a new pair of shoes. You might walk around, first time you wear them, you're like, this is a bit weird, doesn't feel right. But a couple of times after going there, they feel okay. And that's what this gym felt like. Went there, because it was so close, I went there all the time. And it was feeling like my local gym by the end of the holiday.
You know I'm up right now. Right now. Anything I wanna get right now.
give it to a up. Boom bow, make a boy drop. Send my young boys round for your dons. I don't give a fuck. Right now I'm feeling pissed off. Don't let me come and light up your block. Fam, I came in the game, came for the money, fuck fame. I've been stacking racks 5 years straight. Nothing ain't changed. Pussy ass niggas still hate, but I still get paid every day. Now you see me in the whip, fam, I started on a bike. When I look dead, girls say I look nice. Life's getting better, don't get me on a hype. If I ever get touched, somebody getting fried, let it boom, bye bye.
So after we trained, we did chest and triceps. Obviously, what do you do after training? You eat. So the mission was then to go and find somewhere to eat. And I didn't want to eat crap. Luckily, we managed to find this place. Again, it was like 10 minutes away from our apartment. And we got this plate for two, this cod dish. I think it was cod anyway, yeah. So the next morning, again, woke up fresh, feeling good. For some reason, when I'm in a foreign country, I wake up really early. So I was up at like 7 o'clock and we were like, well, I woke Brad up and we got one of the other girls and we were like, right, let's go and train. So we had this very pleasant walk to the gym first thing in the morning. I like to just get the session out of the way first thing as soon as I wake up because there's so many things going on, especially later on in the day. If you have a few drinks or you make plans, it's highly unlikely that you'll go to the gym in the evening. So my advice is just to get up, get it out of the way, and then you're done for the day. The training's out of the way, you can just enjoy the day. The only problem is, I'm not really a fan of training very early, at least I'm not at home. Mainly because when I wake up, I like to kind of wake myself up and have a couple of meals before I train. So when I'm training abroad, I do like to still eat something beforehand. Now, I tried doing fasted training, especially when I was doing the back and biceps routine, but because we had a pretty big meal the night before, I was feeling reasonably full in the morning. So what I did, I tried training fasted. I've done this before, and I'm not really the biggest fan of it, only because, 20 minutes, 30 minutes into the session, I'm absolutely goosed. I was literally running off BCAAs, which I brought some sachets from EHP Labs. So, in general, training fasted when you're abroad, I think that's okay, but if you're trying to maximize your gains, training fasted probably isn't the best thing to do. I'll have another video about intermittent fasting, my experience with it.
So listen to this. We've got a peak there. And look at this. We've got a peak right there. And then guess what? There's another one there. It's a very peaky place. Go on, son. Easy. Right, now we get the Twin Peaks out. Peak in hell.
Now, obviously, when you've trained, especially when you train fasted, you need to get some nutrients into you as soon as possible. So the mission in the morning was to find somewhere to have a good breakfast. And obviously when you're having breakfast in a lot of these foreign countries, they're not necessarily ideal, especially for looking in peak condition. They often tend to be very heavily bread-based, brioche-based, with cheeses and dairy and all those things. Just no. So we had a look around a local place and we found this really cool buffet which opened at around 9:30, and it had literally everything we needed. It had a selection of meats, it had a selection of vegetables, carbs, and I was a happy man. I was a satisfied man. And it was funny, like, to see the culture difference, because the girls we were with were Brazilian. They looked at us and they were like, you guys are crazy, you're having dinner for breakfast, like, ew. It's like, who says this has to be for dinner? Food is food, okay? You're just not used to having something like this for breakfast. I looked over at them and they were having a ham and cheese toasty panini thing, and I was just like, no, don't even get me started on that, okay? We found our breakfast, we had that every morning, we were satisfied. Now, one of the things you have to do in Rio is go on top of Sugarloaf Mountain and take in the views, because the views are insane. You have to take 2 little cable carts, you get to go from one station to the next, which is on one little peak.
What an escalation this is! What an escalation this is!
Then you go another cable up to the highest peak, the loaf-shaped one, that's why it's called Sugarloaf Mountain, and you can have a little walk around and take in the views, and like I said, absolutely insane. Definitely has to be one of those things you do.
My arm is the longer.
Now when you're doing all these daily activities, you're going to be doing quite a lot of walking, so you're burning calories, which is obviously good. What you want to make sure is that you don't snack on crap which they serve at a lot of these tourist destinations. You're not going to get any real decent food. So, I mean, I was okay, I was occupied, I was warm, I was just enjoying it. You know, I was taking everything in, so I wasn't really hungry. I usually get hungry when I'm bored. So I was just keeping myself hydrated. I'd maybe have a few drinks here and there, some low calorie drinks, but that'd be about it. Obviously, when you're with a group of people, they're not gonna have the same mentality, so they'll be snacking on very high sugary drinks. There's this thing called acai, which was, I tried it was very nice, but things like that, just a big jug of sugar, you don't really need. Same with beer as well. I might have had one beer, but generally I don't, drinking beer just for the sake of drinking beer, I generally don't do that often just because, you know, it's like drinking empty calories. So if I was snacking on anything, I was just getting, you know, these little kebab sticks, which were just taking me along the day. They even did corn on the cob at the beach, which was pretty cool. I tried that just for the sake of trying it, and it was very good corn on the cob. But it was nice though. When I go to these places, I like to try some of the foods there, but in general, if I'm gonna try some of the naughty foods, I'll leave it to like the end of the trip, or at least the last day, because if I start eating shit at the start of the holiday, then it kind of, you know, sets me off, and that's it, it's game over. I'm gonna be eating bad stuff every day. So I try and keep those good habits going as much as possible. I was basically having 3 solid meals a day, so there'd be a little snack before training, like some maybe bananas, some almonds, or boiled eggs, and then I'd have my main post-workout meal, which was at that buffet, and then I would have, generally mid or early afternoon, I would have a light bite, mainly just kind of protein, maybe some carbs, and in the evening I would then have another kind of big meal. And I just try and reduce snacking as much as possible, because even though I was training, I was still trying to keep calories a little bit low. I didn't really want to overdo it because I wanted to stay trim on the beach. And nobody wants to walk around bloated, you know, full as a fart. You know, it's not a good look on the beach. You want to feel pretty light and tight, so that's what I was trying to do. Another destination which you definitely have to visit is Christ Redeemer statue, which, to be honest, I think the views are even better than Sugarloaf Mountain. It's a bit of a mission to get up there. It definitely takes longer, but wow, when you're up there, it's very, very cool. Definitely needs to be one of those things you need to tick off the bucket list. Once you've seen Christ Redeemer, it was just filled with more days of chilling on the beach, just having a good time, chilling with good people, and generally just living life.
You see, baby girl, she my homie, yeah, yeah. Oh, Lord, I hold her close to you, nah, nah. My homie, I touch her slowly, murder, she roll, nah, nah. I'm on my way, I'm on my way, oh, I'm on my way, I'm on my way.
This is the life, people. This is the life.
Life, folks. If you're not doing this right now, unlucky. Your English is better than
Everybody here, let's take out.
I'm not even kidding, it's very so full.
Are you not?
It's nice from yesterday.
Good kid, it's good. How good is it when you come up in that car? It's fucking epic.
So then it came to Carnival. Now Carnival is this crazy event, which is basically like a bank holiday during Lent for all the people in Brazil. And I think it officially lasts for 5 days, from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Everyone's off work and everyone basically just fills the streets and goes crazy, having a good time partying, enjoying life. And it's just something I'd never experienced before. Apparently it's like one of the biggest carnivals in the world, with over 2 million people just swarming the streets of Rio, blocking off the blocks with these block parties called blockers. And it is a sight to behold. It might not be your thing, Probably wouldn't be my thing if I was like, you know, getting a little bit older, but I'm young. I was getting fully in the mix, and that is when the drinking and the partying started. So it was literally madness. Everywhere you looked, there was just people everywhere. Music playing, people dancing, people having fun, and everyone dressed up in these ridiculous outfits. You could literally dress up as anything you wanted to dress up as, and people wouldn't look at you strange, which was good. And some of the people were looking at, like, especially on social media, like my friends, they were like, oh, god damn, your friend's pretty scary, what the hell? But that's why I love them, because they literally don't care. They just are out to have a good time, they're loyal, they're fun to be around, but that's why I love them so much. And especially my mate Adam, he's just a crazy character. He was just getting himself into situations all day, every day. Obviously you can see this thing goes well into the night. It's literally non-stop for 5 days. It's insane.
Oh no! Oh no!
A lot of people ask me what are the do's and don'ts when you're drinking alcohol and you're abroad. I say this to all my clients, and everyone asks me, I'm like, whatever you do, just don't eat any junk food, because it's just kind of the worst thing you could be doing for your physique. And guess what happened on the first night? So yeah, that wasn't great. But anyway, yeah, that was Saturday, and then it carried on Sunday, Monday, same thing, different block parties, different areas, different ridiculous costumes, and it was literally hilarious. I literally had the time of my life. It was so good.
Hey, 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 who's this? Who's this? Hey, who's this? Round 3!
And on the last one I went to on the Monday, I think it was quite a traditional one. It had like loads of drums. Everyone kind of brought an instrument. I actually felt a little bit left out. I had no instrument, so I just made loads of loud noises to fit in. Finished off, and it's like, I don't know what it was, the courtyard at the end of the street somewhere, and there was this finale of everyone playing the instruments and all the drums and whatever. It was so cool. So after all that madness, I was pretty done in, to be honest. I don't often drink. It's one of the few holidays, I maybe have 2 of these holidays a year where I do drink quite a bit of alcohol, so my body's absolutely exhausted. I managed to sleep quite a bit, but when you're out, you're drinking, you're not eating as much, you're not getting anywhere near as much protein or calories in as you should do, and alcohol's just no good for muscle retention and muscle growth and whatsoever. And I wasn't training either. I didn't train Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, or Wednesday. I had quite a lot of time off, which is not ideal. If Rio isn't on your bucket list, it should be, because it is a very, very cool place. If you like it quieter, it's probably best not to go during Carnival, but it's definitely a spectacle, regardless of if it's your thing or not, just to see that many people having a good time. And I didn't see any trouble whatsoever. I actually felt more safe in Rio, especially on a night out, compared to being in London. So, you know, people saying, oh, make sure you look after yourself in Rio. It was fine, as long as you don't go walking into the dangerous favelas on your own, you'll be okay. You're gonna be looked after. Okay, so Rio is epic. Definitely do it. And I will tell you now, that's not gonna be the last time that I go there. I will be returning as soon as I can.